To all the Rihanna fans, I hope you get disturbed after you watch this video, and I hope you get to the point where you get super angry and you say, why am I listening to this junk? Why am I being brainwashed by listening to these people? Anyways, let's get straight to the point. Rihanna just uploaded a new video called Sledgehammer. I even feel that I shouldn't even be mentioning the name of the song, but I'm just gonna mention it because it is what I'm talking to you about, and I highly recommend not watching it. For those who are watching that music video, it is pure satanic witchcraft. Basically, a spell is being cast upon the audience. It is a spell being cast upon each and every single one of you that either A, just listen to the music for what it is, or B, listen to the music and watch the music video for what it is. Now, it is very interesting how the video opens up, because the very first thing that you see is what is known as the Helix Nebula. Again, propaganda being fed upon the masses. These are the things which they created. They created all these galaxies and gave them to you and said, this is the reality of our universe. Anyways, to make the long story short, this very nebula is referred to as the Eye of God. And so that is something that you gotta pay attention to. It gives you the hint of the all-seeing eye. Then the camera makes a move and shows us all the different galaxies and all those so-called fancy realities that they created for us. And then all of a sudden, we see Rihanna's face appear almost demonic, but at the same time it almost looks as though she represents a goddess, as her face appears in the midst of the galactic nebula. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is that as the video opens up, when you see Rihanna for the first time, Rihanna appears dressed exactly like a witch, dressed exactly like a witch doctor, with all the strange markings on her skin and on her face. And she also wears all the strange different jewelries on her hands. That should be the first sign that anyone who sees the video should just say, I'm not going to watch this. However, I know many of you are going to continue watching it anyways. So let's analyze this and tell you that she is actually casting a spell on you. As the video progresses on, the camera comes up close and she's waving her hands and she's moving her fingernails, and the first thing that caught my attention, and it should catch everybody's attention, is her nails appear to be sharp, almost as representative of claws, and her face gives you the impression of someone who is not in control of themselves. Her eyes give you the indication that she is under demonic possession. Now, this is very important. Pay attention to this. As she does her strange dances, what we end up seeing happening is there are some strange creatures that almost just came out of nowhere, surrounding her and flying about her, and then they end up basically moving upwards. As far as trying to identify what these creatures are, you can't identify them, but they came as a result of her dancing and as a result of the way she is moving in those weird odd patterns, which gives the sign that what she is illustrating in this video is that she is summoning legions. It is very important to make note that in the world of the occult, including voodoo and many different occult practices, when people are summoning spirits, they do all kinds of weird dances. Many would offer burnt offerings, or many would offer burnt incense. And also, while performing these ritualistic dances and burning incense, they also perform incantations. An incantation involves a series of words which are said as a magic spell or charm. Continuing to analyze the video, watch what happens next. She reveals to you and tells you in plain sight, but in such a subtle way, that she is actually casting a spell on each and every single one of you. Now watch what happens next. This is very interesting. She folds her hands, and while she is folding her hands, it's as though a glass prism begins to surround her. And as she continues dancing and performing that ritualistic dance, it turns out that she is now within or inside a hexagon. And interestingly enough, this hexagonal shape is comprised of different bright, vivid colors. But make note of her eyes. Her eyes at this point is like it changed in a way that it's very demonic, and it gives the hint that she is under demon possession. Now, why did I mention those bright colors? Those bright colors I mentioned because these are the colors in which most children associate with, especially little girls. These bright, vivid colors appeal to them. anything that you present to children and you present these vivid colors, it captures their imagination and it pulls them right into it. What am I saying? What I'm saying is this video is a spell being cast specifically towards children. Now, where do I get the idea of spell besides the obvious? Here's what you need to make note of. That hexagon is there for a reason. It is not by pure chance that they just happened to pick a hexagon and place that shape and surrounded Rihanna with it just because they felt like it. No, it's there for a reason. In the world of the occult, you have a pentagram or you have a hexagram. One is a 5-pointed star and the other is a 6-pointed star. Of course, the pentagram is a 5-pointed star, and whereas the hexagram, hexa represents 6. So a hexagram would represent a 6-pointed star. Usually when they do sacrifices, those are performed on 5-pointed stars. When they do chanting or when they're doing witchcraft or casting spells or magic, they may use a 6-pointed star, which is a hexagram in this case. Interestingly enough, when we look at that word hex and we go to the definition of it, the word hex means to cast a spell upon or to bewitch. Or the noun for the word hex also means a magic spell or a curse. By this, you can clearly see what Rihanna has gotten herself into. I hope you can understand now that Rihanna, though she may be beautiful, though many of you may love her, you need to understand carefully that Rihanna has given up herself fully to the demonic. She has fully surrendered to their will, and therefore she is bewitching her viewers. Each and every single one of you that go to watch her videos, you are being bewitched. You are being cursed. You are receiving a spell from her music videos. That goes the same also with Beyonce and many other popular celebrities. I'm not even going to start mentioning the names. The honest truth is, if you watch her videos, you need to go and pray right away. In fact, I'm going to have to do the same, because this is pure witchcraft that many of you are simply buying into, and many of you are simply becoming consumers of it. Now, going back to the video, what continues to happen is, after she comes out from that hexagonal shape, she continues the ritual dance, which ultimately then leads her to show what appears to be her offering incense. And then she causes the ashes from the ground to rise up and to levitate. Now, the next thing you need to understand, it's very subtle, but it's actually right there, plain right in front of you, to prove that she is in fact taking the role of a witch. Witches and wizards love crystal balls. What ends up appearing in front of her, she summons this, what appears to be a planet. But little do people realize that this so-called planet is in fact actually a crystal ball that appears before her. Now, given the idea that a planet represents a world, and here she is appearing as demonic as she looks, we can clearly see that she represents a goddess who is a witch who invokes legions of demons, a witch who casts a spell upon an entire world. She has high influence upon the young minds, upon the young people of the world. That is what they are telling you. Now, it is also very interesting how they made it so plain obvious, how they show you they do ritualistic dances around fires. It's in such a subtle way. The place where she stood, the center, represents the fire, which ultimately then leads to the fire dance. And then she begins to disappear from one side to another, dancing and performing those weird occult ritualistic dances, showing you, giving you the hint that she is a witch. These also point to the worship of Saturn. Now, Saturn in the world of the occult represents the devil. Remember, what we have been told are planets, which we know are just stars, we have been told that each of them, they have been named according to different pagan deities. But that's for another video. All you need to understand is that this video is pure witchcraft, and I would not recommend anyone to watch it. Share this information with people. Let people know they need to be cautious about listening to Rihanna's music or any of those celebrities. They have to be very careful, because it's pure witchcraft that's being fed to each and every single person that is watching that video. But hey, I could talk on and on. There's a lot of things to talk about, but hey, I'm going to cut the video here. You got the main point. This is the Controversy 7. Thank you for tuning in and for joining me. Please subscribe if you're new to this channel because there's a lot of interesting videos that are coming across your way and I highly recommend subscribing. You can feel free to join me on Facebook. My link is in the video description box. Also, you can go to my website for more info, www.thecontroversy7.ca. Other than that, I'm not going to hold you off. You take care of yourselves, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and I'll see you next time.